you've been around for 20 years. You made $40 million. You've helped hundreds of thousands of people, I'm sure, around the world. During this process, was there any major defining moment, some moment where something just clicked and you went, oh, and then your business was completely different from that point forward? I'm sure there's many.
Yeah, I mean, over time, you obviously have different experiences with different people and different scenarios, but I came out of the real estate industry, and when I had first joined this company that I'm involved with now, I went out and I started calling my friends, and I called a friend of mine that I used to do very large deals with,
right,
$1 million deals with, and he worked at Coldwell Banker, and so I called him up and I said, I'm going to come down and talk to you. I got to show you this. And I remember walking in to his office, and he was busy, and the secretary said, go into the conference room, he'll be in a minute. And I remember sitting there with my bag and my products and stuff, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna, pitch this guy on this, and he's a friend of mine, and I'm gonna make it happen. And he came in the conference room and he goes, what's up? I'm real busy. What's going on? What do you got? And I said, well, I've got this thing that I am really excited about. I think it's the greatest opportunity I've ever seen in my life. And he goes, well, what is it? And I said, give me your hand. And I grabbed his hand and I went, squirt, squirt,
right,
squirt, like that. And he just stopped and he kind of pulled his hand away. And the lotion's dripping through his fingers and it's going splat, splat
yeah,
on the glass tabletop. And he just looked at me and he goes,
are you out of your mind?
what's happened to you?
Yeah.
What's happened to you? We used to do multi-million-dollar real
You used to
estate
be a
deals,
businessman.
and you're selling hand cream, And I could kind of tell right then. I thought, he's going to destroy me.
Right.
He's going to steal my dream. He's going to crush my confidence, my ego. I didn't have the words to say. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to combat him, with what he was saying, and I could tell that he was sincere in what he was saying, but he was also being a little vindictive. He was kind of being a little bit
mean.
Yeah, mean-spirited maybe, or whatever, And maybe it was he just said, oh, this is another one of those network marketing deals or whatever, and I'm going to crush this guy or whatever. And I don't know that he was intentionally doing it, but it was kind of happening that way, and I felt threatened. I thought, I'm doing this and I want to do this, and I think I understand why I'm doing this, but now I'm not sure why I'm doing this, now that he's right here in this moment, right in my face, And I just said, I'm really sorry. This is a mistake. And I said, I'm going to leave. And I just packed up all my stuff and I walked out, and I was so angry at myself. And I remember going down the elevator and I get into the parking structure and I'm so mad. I remember I opened that car door and I took that bag and I threw that bag as hard as I could, and it smacked against the other door and fell down on the floor. And I sat there just white-knuckled, gripping the steering wheel, and I'm thinking to myself, why didn't you say something?
Right.
Why didn't you defend yourself, And it was really a frustrating moment. And I remember I had one audio tape from a person in our company.
Right.
It was the only thing that was out there at the time. And I remember 2 minutes later, I'm driving down the road and I'm listening to that audio tape and I'm trying to get my attitude back. Because I really am shaking. I'm shaking. I'm like,
right,
I don't know why I'm doing this for sure, How am I going to overcome that?
Right.
And I just remember listening to what that person was saying on that audio, and I was thinking to myself, that's why I'm doing it. Right there. That is why I'm doing it. Why didn't I say that?
Right.
Why didn't I say I'm doing this because I don't want to do deal after deal after deal and be unemployed every time I close a transaction like you and I have been for the last 5 years of our lives, and have to start over from zero every time we close a deal and find the next deal, or we're unemployed. I don't want it anymore. I want residual income. I want to be free. Why didn't I say that? And so that was a really defining moment for me.
So
that's when I kind of decided, you know what? That's why I'm doing it.
Right.
I'm doing this to be free.
Right.
It's not about hand cream.
No.
It's not about pills. It's not about supplements or a juice or anything else.
Right.
I'm doing it so I can be free.
Right. Well, I will tell you, I think that's good. I think we've all had those. We've all had several of those. Do you need to get that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll grab it. Sorry about that.
That's okay. I'll just wait till it's done. Okay. well, I think we've all had those moments. I've had those moments several times. I mean, you have self-doubts. You go through in any business, as you're building and you're growing.
Right.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, first of all, I appreciate you taking the time and sharing some of your information. I think a lot of this was really, really valuable information. But do you have a particular message? Is there something that you're known for as far as what you consider your core message in this network marketing profession? And if you have something like that, if you look in the camera and we got thousands and tens of thousands of people that will be watching this program right now. What would you say to them if they're either looking at the profession or they're involved in the profession? If you have a message, why don't you give it to them?
Well, I think the key really is that you've got to decide that you're going to do it. You got to decide that you have enough courage that you want to be free. And I guess the main message I have, really for everybody who might be listening out there, the main message is, don't be afraid. Have faith. Faith and fear can't coexist in the same body. So if you're full of fear, you don't have any faith, okay? It takes faith. You got to believe in yourself. You got to believe that it can happen. And sometimes you're doing that against all odds, against spouses that don't want it to happen, friends that don't think you can do it, people that have never done this but think they know better and are going to tell you all about it and why it won't work, okay? You got to believe in yourself enough, and you've got to be consistent enough that you can, keep putting one foot in front of the other. And if you do that, then what happens, and what's really critical, is that eventually you'll start to understand how to make it work. You'll figure it out, okay? And then as you figure it out, it'll make you free. That's really been my message, I think. My message has been to people, don't trade your life away. That's the big risk, is that you trade your life for a pittance. You rent your body and your brain to somebody else for nothing. For what? So you can start over in January with nothing and hope that you still have a place to go show up? What's so great about that? Where's the security in that? There is none. It's an illusion. The only security is in you, right here and right here. That you're willing to be focused and consistent, and you're willing to exercise faith. And if you're willing to do those two things, you can do it.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you taking the time. Ladies and gentlemen, here's what I would ask you to do. With great information like this, and there's going to be much more coming, at the end of this program, comment. Put your comments. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you agree or disagree? Do you have any follow-up questions for me? I'd be happy to answer in future shows. I'd be happy to do that. But please be part of the discussion. Be part of this process of helping our profession go to the next level. So to close, what I will do as always is my hope for you is you decide to become a network marketing professional. I hope you decide to go pro. If you do that, we can be the change that we're looking for in this great profession. Everybody take care. And from St. George, Utah, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.